All right, good evening, PHS parents and families. Welcome to this evening's presentation and welcome parents of the class of 2026. Before we get started, I see Mr. Whitmire has joined us. We're going to go ahead and have him start off our meeting. Mr. Whitmire.
Good evening, parents. Good evening, staff. I really appreciate everyone being here this evening. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy day. And I'm looking forward to answering and hearing from you regarding any questions or concerns you guys have tonight. So again, thank you all for taking time out of your busy day for being here.
Thank you, Mr. Whitmire. And we're going to go ahead and proceed with the presentation, starting with the objectives for this evening.
The objectives for today, my name is Tanika Van. I am the parent liaison for Pittsburgh High School. And our objective for today is new bell schedule, 9th grade counseling team, graduation requirements, A to G requirements, support for our students, Aries portal, parent portal, and parent square, importance of parent engagement, challenge students may face, and signs of concern and how to get help, and questions and answers at the end of a presentation. Starting off, we have our PHS administrator, Todd Whitmire as the principal, Eric Pecco as the associate principal, and we have Jose as assistant principal, Catherine assistant principal, Natalie assistant principal, and Stacy as assistant principal. Sorry. Your parent liaisons for PHS is Tanika Porter Van and Maria Espinosa. And our information is here on the website, our phone number and our extension. You can always call and make an appointment with us, or you can always email either one of us for information or anything you need help with. And Maria is bilingual, so she will be able to help our Spanish-speaking parents as well. We have a newcomer parent liaison to the district, and that's Ernestine. And her information is here as well. Phone number and her extension is 5719, and she's bilingual as well. So welcome, Ernestine, to our group and family. We have our new bell schedule because last year start time for school was 8 o'clock. This year is 8:30 till 3:34. That's our regular day schedule. We have an adjusted schedule on Wednesday. That schedule for first period starts at 8:30 to 2:28. So please be aware of your students' whereabouts on those days and time. We also have a minimum day schedule. Our minimum day schedule is from 8:30 to 12:46. And there was a, if you look on our parent square page, there is a schedule for our minimum days. Team up with your child's academic advisor to help with support their success. To get to know your students' academic counselors, we have them available tonight.
And I would be one of them. Good afternoon or good evening, parents. My name is Kanika Jenkins. I am one of the 9th grade counselors. I work with students last name A through Lay, L-E. Ms. Rivas unfortunately wasn't able to make it tonight. She works with your students last name L-I through Z. And then if your student is in Puente, Ms. Lay is their counselor. She has all grade levels, so any student, regardless of last name in the 9th grade who's in the Puente program, worked with Ms. Lay. Both Ms. Rivas and myself were located in B121. Our extensions are on the screen for you to see, as well as our emails. Email is the best way to contact us if you want a fast reply. We check them and see them throughout the day. The link here at the bottom right is a link for your students if they wanted to make an appointment to see their counselor. Excuse me, Ms. Melrose's email is there, but I believe the link is in here as well. If not, I'll put it in the chat. In addition to our counselors, we have our special education coordinator, Dr. Liz Gonzalez Sidrian, and Ann Maione. The counseling website link is found here for you. Again, it says if you want to make an appointment with your counselor, they would email Ms. Melrose, but there is a specific link that I believe we've shared with you through email, through Parent Squared, but I will put it in the chat for both myself, Ms. Rivas, and really any of the counselors for your student to be able to sign up and make an appointment with us, and we'll call them out of class, usually around their elective period, to try to address whatever questions they have. But if you want to make an appointment with us, by all means, please email us directly or Ms. Melrose, and we can get that scheduled for you. So a little bit about graduation requirements. Your students need 220 credits to graduate. That's 140 required core classes and 80 elective classes. Semester grades are the grades that count. We are divided into 4 quarters, and sometimes the students get kind of confused. I always tell them quarters are for eligibility, like if you're trying to play a sport, or if you are looking to go to a dance or something like that. But the semester grades are the grades that go onto their transcript. The semester grades are the grades that the colleges see. So the grades that they receive in December and the grades they receive in June are the grades that determine whether they need to make up a class or not. So we have those 2 semesters a school year. Each class that they take is worth 5 credits. They can earn up to 30 a semester. That's 60 for the year. What is back that we lost for a little bit because of the pandemic is the community service hours. So for all Pittsburgh High School students, beginning with the class of 2026 for sure, we're asking for 35 hours of community service. Students can get that in a variety of ways. They can go to, a local nonprofit organization. They can get them here at school with their teacher, the librarian. They can even get them at different like church services. However, it can't be if they're participating in a church service, but if the church has like a bake sale or a car wash or something community related, then they can get those hours there. We partner with a lot of community-based organizations, so if there's ever a need to get more information or a list of some of the local agencies that we partner with or that we know about, we can get that to you and or your child. And then a special note that if your student is in Avid or Puente, those programs actually require 100 hours. I encourage all freshmen to get started on their community service. It is not wise to wait until your senior year and try to cram it in. It happens, but if you can get ahead of it, then there's no reason not to. So this slide here talks about graduation requirements versus A through G requirements. Again, Pittsburgh High School is a college preparatory school. So for the most part, we're always going to follow the A through G requirements to make sure that your child is eligible to apply if that is what they choose to do. So there's just a side-by-side comparison. I'll give you a moment to look at that. I'm not going to go line by line, but for the most part, your child is going to have 4 years of English, 2 years at least of math, 2 years of a foreign language or a world language, 2 years of PE, 2 years of science. And again, for graduation, they need to get the 80 electives. The seal of biliteracy is a special gold seal. You see it at the top that goes on your student's diploma if they are deemed biliterate. That means that they can read, write, and speak in a language other than English. There's a couple of ways they can earn that seal. One of the ways is by completing 4 years of the same language and earning a 3.0 average grade. That would be, maintaining a B average in those classes. They also need to make sure that they have a C or higher in their standard English language arts classes. And in those foreign language courses, they would want to score a grade of, a score of 3 or higher on the AP language exam. But those are the 2 ways, the 2 pathways for that seal of biliteracy. Staying on track to graduate, it's important that the 9th graders understand that their grade point average is very strongly connected to their attendance. If you're not showing up in school, if you're not present in school, if you're at school but not in class, that's going to reflect in your grade point average, which would be the culmination of the grades that you receive for the semester. So we want to encourage you to remind them of the importance of attending classes. Again, not just being at school, but going to class, attending the classes, doing well in the classes, because that's where the grades come in. Again, just emphasizing the importance of attendance. We have an issue with chronic absenteeism. That's if they just miss 1 or 2 days a month, because they're really not getting everything that they need from their core classes. Even 1 day could be devastating if, you know, it's a test or there's some important information that's going on. The student might come back the next day and be kind of lost and frustrated. So again, really just understanding the connection between their attendance and their academic achievement, and ensuring that we emphasize the significance of the two. We do have a detention policy now. So when students are tardy 4 times, that's equivalent to 60 minutes of detention time. There's a variety of ways that they can serve it. It's not the traditional detention that we used to know where you stay after school. The administration has worked out some ways to support them, which includes even going to our mastery center and getting support with their academic classes. But they will receive those minutes. If they do not work them off, they will accumulate, and that can be an issue for them. Lastly, if a student is chronically absent, then we end up putting them on a SART contract, which would be an attendance contract. We ask that both you and the student sign it, again, to remind you of the importance of attendance. We ask you to be accountable for making sure that they get to school. If the attendance does not improve, then it goes to the district level, and that is the Student Absence Review Board. And then a panel convenes and discusses the absenteeism and tries to come up with a way to support the student, but also looking for some consequences based on the extent of the absence. Absences that are related to COVID are excused. But if your student is going to be out, we ask that you call the attendance line and give us the student's name, their ID number, let us know that they're out for COVID, let us know who you are in relation to the student, so that we can take the appropriate measures to make sure that we do get those absences excused, and that we're able to communicate with the teachers or be an intermediary for you and the student to make sure that they get the work that they need so that they don't fall behind. All right.
And again, thank you, parents, for attending this evening. If you entered late this evening, we ask that you please sign in using that link that you find in the chat. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Melanie Mosley, and I am one of the advisors in the College and Career Center.
My name is Sunita Walker. I'm the other college advisor in the College and Career Center. Muriel, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, hello, my name is Mariel Duran with UCSF Trio Educational Talent Search. And Sunita, I have my own slide, so I'll talk a little more later. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Okay, so we'll start with what's available in the College and Career Center. We host student workshops. We have a platform that's called California College Guidance Initiative, which is a new platform that we started last year. It's known as CCGI. We can do career exploration, college and major exploration. We do college application support, financial aid support, scholarship support. We host family workshops that include college information night, cash for college nights. We host college and career fairs, and also we can do one-on-one appointments.
In addition to that, we will also review financial aid award letters once your student becomes a senior. We have a, oops. Sorry, I don't know. Okay, Sunita, okay, sorry. I don't think you went through the second part, correct?
Correct.
We also have an amazing scholarship page, which we have a lot of resources available for our students. We have a lot of students that are at Pittsburgh that are either doing concurrent enrollment at LMC, or they, and we also have a College Connect program, which we have students that are taking LMC classes right at PHS. We support with the SAT and ACT in their preparation. We discuss with our students post-high school planning, whether it's going to 2 or 4 year college, or if they want to get into trade, or if they want to just go into the workforce. We do have college representatives that come, and the students can come and talk with those representatives. We also do college field trips to most of these schools that are local, like San Francisco State, Sac State, UC Davis, UC Merced. We work with our Ms. Shireen Sasser as it relates to jobs and internship information. We have the military staff that comes in. Usually there's somebody there every day with us to talk to students about potentially maybe going to the military, as well as ASVAB testing, which is military does a test to determine where that student strengths and weaknesses are, but we encourage all of our students to take the ASVAB test, even if they are not interested in the military. And then also we have volunteer opportunities for our students.
Next slide. I want to begin to talk about the California Colleges, which is known as CCGI. It's the state of California's official college and career planning platform. It has lessons and tools that help your students discover their life after high school. It'll help them make plans to achieve them and launch them into their futures. This program is free for your students, and that's grades 6 through 12. And it also allows access to both parents and their counselors and other educators at Pittsburgh High School. Using this platform can foster deeper understanding of what their future goals may be, whether that's in the trades or the apprenticeships, military, the workforce, and or college or university. The roles and the duties are for all Pittsburgh High School staff to encourage all of our students to utilize the CCGI account to help them see its value. The teachers will facilitate every Wednesday, which we call Flexible Wednesdays, which help facilitate activities that students will be working on and to how to access CCGI data. Our counselors will provide support for teachers within the CCGI system. They'll review the data. They'll host student workshops based on the information provided. Administrators will support counselors and teachers and review CCGI data. The College and Career Center will provide support for the counselors, administration, and conduct an all back-end administration. Our parents, which is most important, you can support your students by post-secondary exploration, and you also will have access to the account. And this year we want to focus on the parents. This is year 2 for us. We want to focus on the parents registering for the account so they may be able to see what plans their students are planning to do after high school. So I think we have a link on here. If not, you can hit the college and career page onto CCGI. Here's a link right here at the top, and you can click and register account. If you have any questions, feel free to email myself or Ms. Mosley at our email, and we can give you one-on-one guidance and or we can do a Zoom.
Okay. Freshman year action plan. Each year your student is at PHS. We have detailed everything that they should be doing for that particular year. One of the first things that we're going to do with your student is tomorrow, as Ms. Walker stated, we go through each class, or excuse me, there's a time during each class during third period, which is our CCGI timeframe. So we're going to, most of your students, if they were in the middle school, they already have an account. We're just going to go through what we call an interest profiler. They'll answer a series of questions, which kind of identifies what they may be interested in. And each year we do that because, of course, as we know, our students, they change their interests. So we want to know what they're interested in. And then the next week, we're going to start talking about, based on the interest profiler, what careers they may be interested in. And when we do that, we have our students heart those careers. And then also there's a section that tells them, based on the career that you're interested in, what schools can offer that particular major for you. And so that's what we're going to be doing with your students tomorrow in our CCGI timeframe. But every year you want to look at your action plan so you can identify what your students should be doing. And by the time that they're a senior, if they follow that action plan, just as Ms. Jenkins stated, we are a college preparatory school. So your student will definitely be college ready and move on to the next step should they choose to go to a 2-year, 4-year, or a trade school. So we definitely encourage you, get familiar with our website as well as your action plan each year.
Okay. What does it mean to have EAOP GCAC at Pittsburgh High School? EAOP are advisors that support, are additional advisors that help support our students and families with planning life beyond high school, their graduation. They focus on college preparatory services. While students have 4 years to prepare for the next chapter, it's never too early to start planning. So a lot of our students think I'll get started in our senior year. It's very important that you get started in your freshman year, so you don't have to go back and fix things that could have been fixed early on. Individual services are provided. They do one-on-one college prep and guidance meetings. They do college applications and essay assistance, and they assist with financial aid and scholarship guidance. Next slide. Next, we have Ms. Duran, which will talk about TRIO.
Hello, everyone. My name is Mariel Duran. I'm with UCSF TRIO's Educational Talent Search Program. This program is open for your students to apply to as of right now. We'll put the link in the chat for anyone who is interested. But pretty much this program is a federally funded program, and it's to support students to get into and complete their college education. It is geared towards low income and or first generation college students, meaning that neither parent or guardian, neither one has had a 4-year bachelor's degree. So if you've gone to trade school or if you've done community college but have not gotten your bachelor's degree, then your student your scholar is eligible, is considered a first generation college student and would be eligible for our program. Our program offers a multitude of services, including counseling and mentoring. We provide college tour field trips. We have summer internships in the summertime to incorporate different information such as STEM. This summer, we had about 20 students participate in our internship. They participated in a business learning program as well as an intro to computer science. And then we did a 1-week trip to UC Merced where students were able to dorm and experience the life there and visit a multitude of colleges at that time. We do one-on-one check-ins. We bring in services, outside services such as tutoring, SAT prep, resume building, financial education. So a multitude of services are brought in throughout the school year to support your student. And we help make sure they're on track to graduate high school and on track to get into college. Come senior year, we also support your students with college applications, with financial aid applications, and we're with you the entire way. We also incorporate some family info sessions throughout the school year to help make sure that you are informed about the college application process, financial aid, and what that looks like for your student. So again, this program is open to applications right now. I had the link put in the chat, and I will be here to answer questions at the end if anyone has any information they'd like to know. Thank you.
So we also have another program on our campus that's new this year, which is the IYT program, which stands for Improve Your Tomorrow. It's a college-based access program that provides mentorship and academic support to your students. They're working with students, in middle school and in high school. They will mentor and follow the participants all the way through college in the hopes that once they've completed the program, they'll come back and active mentors for students who come behind them. In order to qualify, the students, find out about it, but they want the students to express interest in their participation. To make sure that they're invested in the program. Once they do show interest, a parent orientation is then to follow. If you think that this might be something that your students are interested in, then you want to contact Mr. Omar Walker at the number provided on the screen. Again, it's an additional support. There's a lot of opportunities for academic support, but not as many for mentorship. So this could be an opportunity for your student, especially if they're struggling or are in need of some additional guidance to link up with Mr. Walker and his mentors and see how that could also help to improve student success. So again, the IYT program is on Pittsburgh High School's campus this year. It's also at some of the middle schools and at Black Diamond High School. So if you are interested, or you think your student might be interested, or if you just want some more information, Mr. Walker wasn't able to be here, but we wanted to make sure that you knew about this opportunity. So if you are interested, go ahead and take that number down, give Mr. Walker a call. He'll be happy to discuss the program a bit more in depth with you to see if this might be a good fit for you and your scholar.
All right, good evening again, PHS parents. As parents and guardians, you play a huge role in the success of your student. One calendar year, we have 365 days. Only 180 of those are school days. The other 185 are non-school days. So you can see why it is important that families and schools partner together to ensure the success of each and every one of our students. It truly does have to be a partnership so that we can make sure that every single one of our scholars crosses that stage in 4 years. Next slide. All right, so as parents and guardians, it's important that we monitor our students throughout the school year. Oftentimes we may ask them, how are you doing? And they're like, fine. How was school? Fine. We tend to get a lot of one-word responses when we ask about how their school day was. They're not quite junior high school age anymore, but they're not yet legal adults. So as their parents and guardians, we definitely want our students to plan for tomorrow and to think about how their actions can possibly impact their future and others, and to think things through and to work towards a goal. Oftentimes, however, teens can sometimes live in the now and act in the moment. And real quick, if you can answer this question in the chat, why do you think that is? If you could take a quick moment and just put your response in the chat. Why do you think that is? Why might teens or some teens think like that? If you could put your answer in the chat. Perhaps maybe because they're still young or don't have a lot of life experience. But definitely, I see some families are raising their hands. This evening, we won't be using the raise hand feature. We ask that you please place your questions in the Q&A, and then we'll take a moment to answer your questions at the end of this evening's presentation. All right, if we could go to the next slide. This is why they might think that way. Answer is that the prefrontal cortex, the area of the brain that's responsible for higher reasoning and thinking things through, isn't fully developed until the age of 25. So obviously all of our students at Pittsburgh High School are under the age of 25. So when they're failing, for example, to turn in homework assignments, they may not be thinking that that C can turn into a D, and then that D can hit their transcript, and then that can impact them when they go to apply to a four-year university in their senior year. So it's really, really important that as parents that we monitor their progress throughout the school year. Next slide. All right, so one of the tools that we can use to monitor our students' progress is the Aries Parent Portal. All parents should have access to that. It's the way you registered your student at the start of the school year. And through the Parent Portal, you can review their absences, their tardies, their grades, check if there's missing homework assignments, monitor how they're doing throughout the year. You can also sign up to receive a weekly progress report. And you can also access Parent Square as well through Aries. So we're going to go ahead and look at a few slides for Aries. Next slide. All right, when you initially log in, it's going to be the home screen. Pretty much all your information is going to be on there, their classes, their grades, their school attendance, and then anything that draws your attention, anything that's in a red color, you'd want to click on it to get more details. Next slide. All right, so for example, if you were to click on one of the classes and you see anything in red, like in this example, anything in red means that's something to draw your attention to. So you want to click on it to see what that is. So if you click on that, next slide, you can see that it's 3 missing homework assignments, and it's in red on purpose to draw our attention to it so we know that those were not turned in. You can also look to see where it says due date, and if the due date hasn't yet been approached, then you know they still have time to turn it in. If it says grading complete, yes, that means the instructor has already completed grades for that assignment. And then, thank you. Next slide is attendance. You can look at their attendance throughout the school year, and anytime you see a little dash, that's for the 6 class periods. And then you'll see T for tardies, I for illness. So you can monitor how they're progressing as far as their attendance and if they're showing up to class on time throughout the school year. Next slide. You can also monitor how they're doing throughout the school year, especially at the end of the semester. It's no longer like in junior high school where they're continue to move the student forward. The student actually has to pass his or her classes in order for those grades to count for graduation requirements. So you always want to look and see how many credits they completed. And if you have any questions, our counseling team is always here to support you. You can always reach out to them via email, Square, or phone. Next. All right. One of the great tools that Aries offers is the ability to send a progress report to your inbox every week. You just simply go to the top right-hand corner where your email is, click on parent notifications, select what day of the week you want to receive it and what time. A great suggestion is to set that up for Friday so you can see how they did during the week, and then you can have that discussion over the weekend. If you need to implement consequences, that's up to you, but it's a great opportunity. You get to decide when to receive it and what day of the week and what time. Next slide. Right. The other tool that you can access through Aries is Parent Square. So if you click on communication when you're in Aries, it's going to take you to Parent Square. If you've never signed up for Parent Square, it's going to prompt you to verify your email address and contact information. And then after that, it'll just take you straight to Parent Square. Parent Square is how we're sending all of our communication across our school district for every single school site, including Pittsburgh High School. It's also two-way communication. It supports over 150 languages. So you can send a message to your teachers, your student's teacher in your home language. It'll translate it to English. You can respond in your home language and send it. It'll translate back to the teacher in English. So it eliminates that language barrier. And so we really encourage you to use that to communicate with your child's teachers and your academic counselors. Next. The other thing that you can do through Parent Square is you decide when you want to receive the information and in what languages. Again, it's supporting over 150 home languages, and you decide whether you want to receive the information as it is posted, or if you want to receive one large summary at the end of every week. Next. All right, Ms. Tanica will continue with the Mastery Center. Ms. Tanica, I think you're on mute.
Sorry, sorry. So we have the Master Center schedule. This is the current schedule as of right now, today. And as this schedule change, we will update it into Parent Square, where we have all our communication and schedules. The Master Center is a schedule if your student needs additional help with algebra, algebra 2, chemist, geometry. It has a whole list of what's classes in their after school from 3:45 to 4:30. And there's also in the morning classes from 7:20 to 8:20. So there's plenty of help for your students to get help with their classes to get their grades up. We have paper 24/7 tutoring help. This is a great tool to have. It's 24/7. It's called Paper. Your student has access to this through Cleveland, and it's a tutoring class to help them. There are live people on there 24/7. You can go on and you go on 11 o'clock at night. There's someone there that help you with tutoring, and it help you with all class subjects. This is the website here, the YouTube that you can watch and log into to get into it. This is the link for Paper, which is great tutoring. If someone has a math problem, you can write in it, you can download, you can send a snapshot picture. You can write the problem as you see it so someone can see what you see to help with that. And like I said, it's a great tool and it's free and it's available 24/7 for all students. We have the STS after-school program. This is the academic support and is available Monday through Friday from 3:45 to 5:30. There is a teen center that's opening up the week of September 13th. Various activities will be available here. Ping pong, pool, dominoes, just a relaxation for the teens to go to after school. And this is opening up September 13th. Upcoming classes that we have from September to December are cosmetology classes, face painting, starting your own business, gift wrapping for December. These are just some of the classes that they have available that the students can go and get help on if they're interested in. We have car detailing, bike repairs. And if you have, there's a phone number here. So for the car detailing and bike repairs, if they have enough student participant, they will open up that class for the classes. They have video game center, which is opening soon on campus. They have driver's education, which is required by the DMV. And it's a Zoom, so you can take it from home, and the student must be 15 and a half to participate. Here's the link to link you to driver's education. These are the dates and the classes so far that we have lined up for it. The class for September 6th started today, so this class may be full, but there's also new classes starting in October to October 28th and October 31st to December 2nd. And these classes are randomly from 4:30 to 6:30, and then they have one in October from 6:30 to 8:30. These are programs that's out there to help the students after school. We all need something to do, somewhere to go besides walking the streets. I think they're great programs for our teens.
So here in this slide, we're talking about some of the things that may come up for students that we know might be a hindrance to their academic performance. Sometimes they're dealing with some socio-emotional issues. They're struggling with their identity or how to, see themselves in a positive way. They're dealing with relationships changing. Academically, sometimes, the adjustment from middle school to high school is quite different. The rigor is different. The ways that the teachers interact with the students is different. And what they're learning is different, and it can be more challenging. So sometimes they struggle with that. They're struggling to get to know these different teachers and their rules and their expectations. And they struggle sometimes to even just ask for help. When do I ask? How do I ask? If the relationship with the teacher hasn't been clearly established, then it may be kind of uncomfortable or awkward for them. And another big one is that they have a lack of organization. Again, when they get to high school, the primary difference is the credits and them really understanding that if you don't pass this class, you're going to have to repeat it. You're going to have to fix it somewhere. They're not used to that. And so they may not have adapted the skills to be academically successful because thus far they've kind of moved along, unfortunately. And so organization is a big help in getting them to be successful, but that shift and transition is also a big hindrance for them in getting them to really understand it. Like we talked about the development of the mind, that they don't quite get it, the consequence. And so we ask that you support your scholars by making sure that you maintain, open communication with them, check in with them on how things are going, both personally and academically, not just how are your grades, but, how are things going in your classes? What did the teacher talk about today? Even just engaging them in, as simple as it might be, what did you learn today, can sometimes help to support their comprehension of what happened. Be patient with them as they're dealing with, their teenage angst and the things that may be important to them or a big deal to them that may not be as crucial or pressing to you. Help them work on how to be more organized if that is your forte, or direct them to a resource that might be able to support them in that, how to develop, healthy study habits. A lot of students don't even know what it means to study. And that's an issue. Seeing that they get enough sleep. We know that we're all, addicted to our phones. I have a freshman myself who I have to take her phone at night because she's consistently wanting to be on it, but it's not helping her be the best student or even the best person that she could be the next day. So trying to monitor that sleeping situation, but also encouraging them to make independent and responsible decisions, trying to help them figure out how to solve the problem, how to find resolution.
Hello, how's everybody? Good.
Uh-oh.
Audio versus FaceTime.
Okay. We want to encourage you again to monitor the progress through Aries, using that parent portal. And as always, whenever you have an issue or a question, please reach out to the teachers and the counselors, so that we can help to support you. Teachers being your first line of defense when it comes to a specific class. This is what's happening in biology. This is what's happening in English. This is what's happening in algebra. And if you're unsuccessful in that, or if there's something more that you need, then please go ahead and reach out to us counselors so that we can help to support you, or again, help you to get in contact with those teachers and get those issues or questions answered. Some things that you might be looking for with your student is an increase in anxiety. They might start throwing, tantrums, being a little bit more irritable, a little smart mouthy, a little snappy. And again, this might be something different that you haven't experienced before. Sometimes anxiety and stress manifest themselves physically. So they may begin to, have headaches or stomach aches. They may not be able to sleep. They may not find pleasure or enjoyment in some of the things that they used to. And they kind of just don't have the energy to want to do much of anything. So if you see any of those things, you do want to be mindful. It doesn't mean that something horrible is happening, but it could mean that something needs to be addressed. And so we ask that you, at that point, again, have a conversation with your child, reach out to us for help and support. But we definitely want to make sure that they're being supported as much as possible. So myself and Ms. Rivas are available for your students. A lot of them come in and see us, even when they recognize that they're struggling and having a bad day. But again, we encourage you to do so if you see some symptoms. As always, obviously, you can contact your physician if you have one. We do have a director of socio-emotional learning and development, Dr. Tracy Cataldi. His phone number and email are on the screen too. And then another resource is the Contra Costa Crisis Center. If you just dial 211 from your phone, you can get some help with additional resources. We also have a CARE team on campus. The CARE acronym stands for Coordination, Assessment, Response, and Education. And so what we do and what we have is basically this team of mentors and therapists and other professionals who are trained to assist your students when it comes to some of the more important or crucial situations. They're able to give them some very consistent support. And so when we find that a student needs that, or if you even see, hey, this is going on with my student, I need it, and it's beyond just the regular conversation, then as counselors will look to our CARE team for additional support for your student. One of the resources is the Lincoln Center, which offers therapeutic services here on campus to your students. So sometimes you'll have a counselor call, discuss some issues with you and ask you for your student's medical number, Medi-Cal number. And that is so that we can provide those services. If you don't have Medi-Cal and your student is in need, then we do have other opportunities and other ways to make sure that we support them. But we ask that you, again, please reach out to us for any support that you may need, especially when it comes to the mental health and the overall well-being of your scholar. So another big concern, as we're talking about the phones, is social media and just its impact. We just recently had a presentation for all ninth grade students on the impact of social media in their world. And our objective was trying to get them to understand that, an issue that they are dealing with, that we're not dealing with, is this overflow of information and this overflow of access to information, but even to each other. And the ways in which their interactions on social media can be sometimes, damaging and detrimental to their mental health, but also to their lives beyond high school or beyond just what's happening right now. Excuse me. One of the things that we try to emphasize to them is the fact that we live in a world now where people are able to kind of be in their business just based on what they post and what they share. It doesn't even have to be somebody that you shared it with to have access to that. And that can lead to, as far-fetched as it might sound to them, a rescinding of their college admissions, the firing from a job or not getting a job, or even interfere with the ways in which they communicate with one another. Also, how their relationships pan out, not just with their peers, but even with their family. And so social media really is, a wonderful resource and a wonderful tool, but it can also be damaging. So we just want to emphasize the importance of responsible social media behavior. And we're emphasizing that to them and trying to remind them of that. And we ask for your support in that. And if that's something that you want to talk about with your counselors, then we're more than happy to talk about that with you as we talk about it with your student. One of the ways that we as parents can kind of help to see what's going on is we can try to be more involved in what our students are posting. We can, make sure that we're friends with them or that we follow them so that we can see what they're posting. We can use their devices and set privacy settings and limit kind of the time that they're on the screen or that they have access to the internet. We can work with them on reading kind of the fine print in some of the apps that they're downloading, getting them to understand what really is being collected and what could be shared. Even when they think that it's private, it's not always private. And helping them to kind of just understand the different terms that are related to this. One suggestion would even be to do a social media agreement or contract with your student to try to get them to understand the dangers, the responsible usage, and hold them accountable for what they do.
Building communication and a connection through PHS clubs. We have a variety of clubs on campus for our students. We have Abbott Club, we have Friendship Club, French Club, we have game clubs, we have Korean Club. We have a multitude of different clubs, which is great for our students. It would be nice to have our students to participate in the club, to get involved. It looks great on a college app. They get to meet new friends and to socialize in something different. We have a link here at the bottom of the screen that you can click on for more of our clubs that's offered at the high school. These are just a few of the clubs that's being offered, but we have a big variety more of them. We got the robotics club, the science club, self-love club. We all need that. Parent advisory groups. We have a couple of groups on campus that helps with the parents to be more informed of what's going on campus. We have the Eli Club, which is a group that is dedicated to working with English learners, parents, to provide them with information about the school academic program and resources for English learners. We have the APAC Club, which is the African American Parent Advisory Council. They have their first meeting September 29th, save the date, it's from 6 to 8. It is also going to be on our Parent Square. All the information will be on Parent Square. And then we have the school site counselors who you can talk to with your counselors at any time. We have, again, we have these club advisory groups on campus, and anyone that needs help, give your counselors a call. We can get that help to you or information on these particular groups. Let's stay informed. We have quite a few ways to stay informed. We have our parent liaison, which is the department that I work in, which keeps you informed through Aries, Parent Square. We have Facebook, we have parent workshops. We have Pittsburgh Unified School District's website. And on the website, you can also log into Aries and Parent Square from there. So you don't just have to be in Aries. If you forget it, you can go into Pittsburgh Unified School District, and at the bottom, you can find your Aries, and also go back to Parent Square. Once you log into your Aries, we got a Facebook account. So these are all the different places that you can stay informed. We have Aries will keep you informed about your students' grades, their attendance, and then we have Parent Square, which tells you what's going on the campus, clubs, special dates, any type of entertainment, football games, or any of that you want to know about what's going on the campus. We have question and answer session. Please take our survey before you log off. We greatly appreciate it. And thank you for joining us tonight. If you have any questions, please put it in the chat and we'll answer to the best we can.
I also want to add in that this is the first year that we have a new system for parent volunteers. It's an electronic system called Be a Mentor, or BAM for short. And so if you're interested in being a fingerprinted parent volunteer, that information is in your Parent Square account, along with the link on how you can apply. If you have already been a fingerprinted parent volunteer in the past, you do not need to redo your fingerprints. You just need to complete the link with the information so that we can keep all of our information for our volunteers current. And we would also like to start a parent club this year. Pittsburgh High School has various booster clubs. We have our ELAC organization. We have our school site council. New to the district this year is our APOC group as well. But we would like to definitely have a parent group, a parent club group at our high school. And so if you are interested in that, please contact your parent liaison, Ms. Tanika Portavon, or Ms. Maria Espinosa. And we look forward to making that a reality for Pittsburgh High School this year.
So I'm looking at the Q&A and I see a question. What if the student is sick and not COVID related? That would be where you would want to go ahead and call that attendance log, that attendance number, and make sure that, I'm sorry, and make sure that you notify the school of your child's illness.
Some parents had a question whether we would be providing a copy of this presentation. Yes, we'll be providing a copy of the PowerPoint presentation along with the recording, and it will be available via Parent Square. There was a question also, we can post the schedule for Mastery Center. It is actually posted both on our PHS website, and it's also posted on Parent Square. There's also a question about minimum day schedules. We are working on a one-page sheet for parents for Pittsburgh High School parents, where you'll have all the information for the minimum days for the school year, along with other important dates and events. So that'll be coming soon through your Parent Square account.
I do see one question that says most programs require parents not to have a BA. Are there exceptions? In terms of the UCSF Trio Educational Talent Search Program, your student can either be a first generation college student or a low income student. So if you're considered low income, but you do have a bachelor's degree, then you would still qualify for our Trio program.
I just want to add, those of you that are interested in the college, the CCGI, there's a link that was submitted that you can so you can register to see your students' college plans after high school.
And with that CCGI, you're able to see not only like what your students are hearting in terms of the colleges or the careers they're interested in, but you're also able to see their transcript information, and it's going to be color coded with green or red to show you if they're eligible for four-year college, what they're missing, their GPA, their A through G requirements. So it's a lot easier for you to understand and for your child to understand. And again, you always have the College and Career Center or our programs, if your students are a part of those, to help walk you through that process.
There was a question that asked if you have to contact the office directly to schedule a meeting with your child's counselor. Speaking for the ninth grade office, you can contact myself or Ms. Rivas directly through phone or through email. And we can schedule that meeting. If it needs to be in person, or we could, speak over the phone, obviously. Or you can call or email the secretary. So if you're not able to get us, then calling the secretary, Melissa Melrose, and I believe it was in the chat, I'll put it in here again. That's how you can get in contact with them. There's another question or concern about the students' electives. So yes, unfortunately, the situation might arise where your student signs up for an elective and they don't get the elective that they want. They are encouraged when the counselors go to the middle schools, and even when we're talking to the older student, to give us a first, second, and third choice. Unfortunately, there's only so many electives to go around. There's only so many teachers. And so it may be that their first choice is taken, which is again why we ask for them to give us additional options. But once the school year starts, we also create an opportunity for the kids to sign up and come in and talk to us, because there's a lot of moving parts. And so there are times or instances where we are able to accommodate, their first, second, or third choice at the beginning of the school year. So we were able to support a lot of students in that. But again, unfortunately, there's only so many electors, there's only so much that we can do. And it is unfortunate, but we do try to make sure that we accommodate as best we can, and that the courses that they are taking count for their graduation and or A through G requirements.
All right, thank you again for attending this evening. If you haven't had a chance to complete our exit survey, the link is in the chat. We'll stay on for one more minute to see if there's any additional questions, and we thank you again for joining us this evening.
Mr. Whitmire, can you confirm that parent-teacher conferences this year are in person?
That's correct. Parent-teacher conferences this year are in person, everyone. They will be in person.